Commander Zixthala adjusted her translator as the holographic display showed Earth floating serenely in the void. The blue-green marble looked utterly peaceful, almost inviting. Her mandibles clicked in what her species considered amusement. "This is the planet that has the entire Galactic Council paralyzed with fear?" she asked her tactical officer. "It appears completely defenseless. No orbital platforms, no planetary shields, not even a proper space fleet." Lieutenant Vextan's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. "According to intelligence reports, Commander, the humans have been contacted 17 times by various species over the past century. Each time, the would-be conquerors simply left. No battles, no negotiations. They just departed and refused to discuss what happened." Zixthala's tail swished impatiently. The hegemony had built its empire on the bones of countless civilizations, and Earth represented the final prize in this sector. Probably encountered some primitive nuclear weapons and lost their nerve. Cowards, all of them. Begin standard invasion protocols. The bridge crew of the dreadnought Void Render moved with practiced efficiency. Weapon systems came online. Troop transports prepared for deployment and communication arrays locked onto human frequencies. This would be swift and decisive. "Incoming transmission from the planet's surface," reported the communications officer. "They're speaking in multiple languages simultaneously. Put it through with translation matrix active." The view screen flickered to life, revealing a woman with graying hair sitting behind what appeared to be a simple wooden desk. Behind her, a flag bearing red, white, and blue patterns hung motionless. "Hello," the human said, her voice carrying an odd warmth that made Zixthala's scales itch. "I'm Secretary General Chen of the United Nations. We've been expecting you." "Expecting us?" Zixthala leaned forward in her command chair. "Impossible. Our arrival was unannounced." Chen smiled, and something about that expression made the bridge temperature seem to drop several degrees. "Oh, we've been monitoring your approach for quite some time. Your technology is impressive, but not particularly subtle. We wanted to speak with you before you made any irreversible decisions. And you dare threaten the hegemony?" Zixthala's voice rose to a shriek that could shatter glass on her homeworld. "We have conquered 300 systems. Our fleet could reduce your pathetic world to ash?" "I'm sure you could," Chen replied, still smiling. "But perhaps you'd like to know why no one else has tried." Before Zixthala could respond, her sensor operator called out in alarm. "Commander, energy readings they're impossible. I'm detecting massive power signatures across the planet's surface, but they're not from any technology I recognize." Chen nodded approvingly. "Your sensors are quite good. What you're detecting isn't technology at all, it's us, all 8 billion of us. Biological readings cannot generate those energy levels," Vextan protested. "The laws of physics, physics," Chen chuckled. "Wonderful subject. We've learned that the universe is far more flexible than most species assume. When you've spent millions of years surviving ice ages, supervolcanic eruptions, asteroid impacts, and each other, you develop certain adaptations." The view screen split, showing feeds from across Earth. Humans stood calmly in cities, fields, and forests. They weren't running or hiding. They were simply standing, looking up at the sky with expressions that ranged from mild curiosity to something that might have been pity. "Every human is a potential energy conduit," Chen explained conversationally. "We discovered this quite by accident during our first nuclear tests. Turns out when you split the atom, you don't just release energy, you open tiny doorways to places where energy is abundant. Most species never survive long enough to learn this trick." Zixthala's blood ran cold as her instruments began registering impossible readings. The humans weren't just generating energy, they were pulling it from somewhere else, channeling forces that shouldn't exist. "The Vorthan Collective tried to invade us in 2157, Chen continued. "Lovely people, actually. Very polite. They retreated when they realized their entire fleet was somehow being powered down by human children playing in schoolyards 3,000 kilometers away. The children weren't even aware they were doing it." "This is impossible," Zixthala whispered. "The Crimson Legion attempted a bombardment in 2203. Fascinating how their plasma cannons kept misfiring and shooting into empty space. One of our amateur astronomer clubs was stargazing that night. Apparently, concentrated observation by humans can affect probability fields. Who knew?" The energy readings continued climbing. Zixthala's crew exchanged terrified glances as their own ship's systems began fluctuating. Then there were the hive minds of Xerxes Prime in 2267, Chen said, her tone becoming almost fond. They tried to dominate human consciousness directly. Poor things had no idea what they were getting into. Do you know what happens when a telepathic entity tries to control 8 billion minds that have spent their entire evolutionary history learning to survive by being unpredictable? Bextan looked up from his console, his voice barely a whisper. Commander, our navigation systems they're plotting a course home on their own. The Xerxes minds are still in our psychiatric facilities, Chen continued. Very nice facilities, by the way. We take good care of them. They spend their days in therapy, learning to cope with what they experienced. Turns out, touching human consciousness is rather like grasping a live wire connected to the fundamental chaos of the universe. Zixthala found herself standing, though she couldn't remember giving her legs the command. What are you? Chen's smile widened, and for just a moment, her eyes seemed to contain depths that spoke of aeons and impossible things. We're humans, Commander. We're the species that looked at a universe full of things trying to kill us and said, is that all you've got? We're the beings who learned to thrive in the space between order and chaos, who found strength in our very fragility. The Void Render shuddered as its engines came online without anyone activating them. Course corrections appeared on navigation screens, plotted by no hand they could identify. Your ship is very eager to leave, Chen observed. We haven't told it to go, mind you. It simply developed an overwhelming desire to be anywhere else. Funny how that works. Zixthala collapsed back into her chair as she realized the truth. You don't conquer the universe. You don't need to. The universe conquers itself for you. Now you're beginning to understand. Chen leaned back in her chair. We don't need weapons when reality itself seems to bend around us. We don't need armor when the mere act of being human apparently makes the impossible happen on a regular basis. We've learned to live with forces that would drive most species insane, and somehow, that's made us into something that makes the universe nervous. The dreadnought completed its turn toward home, its massive engines firing at full power. The crew watched helplessly as they accelerated away from Earth at speeds their own ship shouldn't have been capable of achieving. Safe travels, Commander. Chen's voice followed them across the void. Perhaps next time try saying hello first. We do enjoy visitors who come in peace. As Earth dwindled behind them, Zixthala finally understood why no one attacked the defenseless blue world. Some things in the universe were too dangerous to fight, not because they were strong, but because they were human.